Well, we have had a bit of rain this morning here at Guildford ahead of this Royal London One Day Cup game against the Sussex Sharks, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that everything stays dry. Always lovely to be back here at Woodbridge Road. Surrey, of course, still looking for their first win in the competition. Last game, that 24 over game against Somerset last week at the Kia Oval, and Somerset getting across the winning line on that occasion. The Sussex Sharks arrive here off the back of a win against Middlesex. Surrey naming a squad of 13 yesterday. As I say, we're all keeping our fingers crossed the weather stays good and you'll miss none of the action of this Royal London One Day Cup game here at Guildford on Surrey TV. Well, Surrey won the toss, decided to bowl, and with the third ball of the game, Tom Curran found Chris Nash's outside edge. Jason Roy took the catch and Sussex were 0 for 1. Ed Joyce and Phil Salt came together and played nicely after that early wicket of Nash, but rain then arrived after 6 overs and reduced the game to 45 overs aside. After the rain break, Joyce departed for 21 when he was nicely caught by Kumar Sangakkara at slip off Ravi Rampal to leave Sussex 35 for 2. And that became 50 for 3 when Salt on 20 looked to pull Stuart Meaker, but the ball ballooned straight to Ravi Rampal at mid-on. Sussex needed a partnership, and Harry Finch got together with his captain Luke Wright and looked to steady the innings. Finch played nicely, and the Sussex pair had added 35 when Finch was caught behind off Meaker for 31 and Sussex were 85 for 4 in the 19th. And that became 100 for 5 in the 22nd over when Ben Brown was neatly stumped by Ben Foakes off Zafar Ansari for 10. Sussex was still looking for a significant partnership as Luke Wright began to play fluently. He was joined by Chris Jordan, who immediately looked in good form as they started to guide Sussex through the middle overs. Wright really opened his shoulders when he pulled Stuart Meaker over mid-wicket for 6, and Jordan moved the partnership past 50 with a drive to the cover boundary. But on 42, Wright cut Rampal, and trust me on this, Jason Roy took a brilliant catch at backward point to leave Sussex 169 for 6 in the 33rd over. Jordan continued to play extremely well as he was quick to seize on any opportunity to find the boundary, and he moved to an extremely good 50 from 54 deliveries when he cut Zafar Ansari through backward point. It was his 6th boundary and his first 50 in one-day cricket for Sussex. At the other end, David Wiese was immediately into his stride, hitting Ansari down the ground for 6, and Wiese started to dominate the scoring with an array of good shots. Sussex moved past 200 and a significant partnership was developing, but Jordan then went for 55 when he chipped Matt Pillan straight to Ansari at mid-wicket to leave Sussex 210 for 7. And that became 232 for 8 when Wiese was brilliantly caught by Sangakkara, again trust me on this, on the boundary for 42. Ajmal Shahzad was then bowled by Tom Curran without scoring, and Sussex were all out for 239 in the 44th over when Will Beer was very well caught by Jason Roy on the boundary off Ravi Rampal for 7. So it was 240 for Surrey to win, and Jason Roy and Stephen Davis got them off to a lovely start. Both played excellently as they immediately looked to be positive and continued their excellent partnerships in one-day cricket. They took their opening stands in the one-day games past 1,000 runs, and despite more rain reducing the Duckworth-Lewis target to 235 off 43 overs, they continued to give Surrey the impetus at the start of the run chase. The partnership moved past 50 in the 7th over, and Roy looked destined for a big score when he flicked George Garton into the leg side on 32 and was caught by Ed Joyce to leave Surrey 65 for 1 in the 9th over. Kumar Sangakkara joined Davis and was immediately finding the boundary. He played one particularly memorable shot off Garton to the long-on boundary rope, and the runs continued to flow at Woodbridge Road. Sangakkara reached 20, but he then played on to Ajmal Shahzad to leave Surrey 93 for 2 in the 14th. And that became 99 for 3 when Davis hooked Garton on 36 and was caught by Finch on the square leg boundary. And Surrey was suddenly in trouble and behind the Duckworth-Lewis when Zafar Ansari was caught behind first ball off Shahzad to leave Surrey 99 for 4. So Surrey needed a partnership, and they got it from Ben Foakes and Rory Burns. Foakes straight away looked in great touch and played some handsome shots, particularly through the leg side. Burns played sensibly at the other end as Foakes continued to play fluently as drizzle continued to fall at Guildford. The partnership developed as Foakes continued to seize on the short ball, and after picking up his runs in singles, Burns then found the boundary when he went down on one knee to Jordan and smashed him to the cover point boundary. The partnership moved past 50 as the sun finally came out at Woodbridge Road, and Foakes and Burns put on a masterclass on how to chase down a total. Neither looked rushed at any stage, and they ran hard between the wickets, but also jumped on the loose ball when it presented itself. Foakes moved past his highest score for Surrey in one-day cricket, and then he went to his first 50 for Surrey in one-dayers when he whipped Garton off his hip and the ball flew to the deep backward square boundary rope. Burns took the partnership past 100 when he used his feet to Will Beer and drove him through the covers for 4. And Burns then moved to his 50 from his 50th delivery when he swept Beer for an enormous 6 that ended up in a tree on the Woodbridge Road. Burns then repeated the shot as the ball flew into a garage on the Woodbridge Road and the runs really started to flow. Burns and Foakes had played quite brilliantly and were pushing Surrey to their victory target with the minimum of fuss. Together, they had put on 136 for the 5th wicket, and it was left to Foakes to hit the winning runs as he finished 61 not out. Burns was unbeaten on 70, and Surrey had won by 6 wickets with nearly 10 overs to spare. And then when you and Rory Burns got together, it was a bit of bother, 99 for 4. I thought you played it very seriously. He's a good guy to bat with, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great guy. That's one of his strengths, is being able to work the ball around, which is what we needed at that stage, just to try and get back into the game. And the way Jason and Davo batted up top meant we were always up with the rate, so we didn't have to do anything stupid. But yeah, just chip away at the total and then get ourselves in, and then the boundaries came.